Call to order. First up on our list is Senate File 1742, Senator Jen McEwen. Welcome. Please introduce yourself for the record, and you may begin.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Members, I'm State Senator Jen McEwen, and I am very pleased this morning to be able to bring to you Senate File 1747. This bill is about addressing the unique health concerns of Indigenous people by training culturally competent providers. Centuries of land dispossession, treaty violation, disease exposure, forced assimilation, and direct violence by European colonizers have decimated Indigenous health systems and outcomes. American Indians and Alaska Natives have a life expectancy 5.5 years shorter than the United States citizenry as a whole. However, embedding cultural practices across healthcare professions has been shown to improve health outcomes. The Center of American Indian and Minority Health at the University of Minnesota, Duluth addresses these concerns by training Indigenous health professionals and all of U of M medical students in Indigenous health. Funding for the center will expand programs to train more American Indian and Alaskan Native health professionals that know how to address the concerns and perspectives of Indigenous peoples. I ask that you join me in supporting American Indian and Alaska Native students in our health professions who want to improve the health outcomes of their communities. Mr. Chair, I also have Dr. McEwen, who is here, and the director of the Center for American Indian and Minority Health, to offer some testimony, as well as Tammy Livermont, a student at the University of Minnesota Medical School.
Thank you so much, Senator. First up, Dr. McEwen. Welcome. Please introduce yourself for the record, and you may begin your testimony.
Bonjour, Ludash Yuchat Duasauk, Ushkatan Site, Haitidach Ayhat, Akwandach Ayhat. My Tlingit name is Ludash. My English name is McEwen. I am the director of the Center of American Indian Minority Health and the Associate Dean of Native Health at the University of Minnesota Medical School. Thank you all for allowing me to take this time for testimony in support of our center, and thank you, Senator McEwen, for bringing this bill forward. We're asking today for funding for the center. As many of you know, our federal funding is, it's not just drying up now for the center, it's been drying up for quite a while. The University of Minnesota has is known throughout the nation for this program. We have, in fact, graduated the second highest number of Native physicians in the entire nation. This is really important because Senator McEwen talked about our shortages. Every year, only 20 to 40 Native physicians are graduated out of a total of 20,000. 20 to 40 out of 20,000. So you can see the problems. The center, as the Center of American Indian Minority Health, as Senator McEwen has alluded to, or talked about, sorry, not just alluded to, has grown number of grads, but also Native leaders in the country. 4 of the graduates from our program are now leading Native programs in throughout the country, including Oregon, Washington, here, and Wisconsin. So the center really has been around for 50 years, and we've built a base. And this base has allowed us to expand and increase our numbers, but also increase the education about Native Americans. And that education is critical. It's not just Native physicians that we are supplying with information on how to treat Native Americans, but also non-Native physicians. We will never have enough Native physicians to serve our needs. So, and I'll tell you why this is important through a personal story. 2 years ago, I went to take my mom up for a cardiovascular visit in Anchorage, Alaska. And I found out during that route that she needed an emergent aortic valve replacement. So we flew by medevac up to Anchorage. Well, I'd flown down to Juneau to pick her up, Petersburg, Juneau, pick her up. This is Alaska. And then we had to be medevaced up to Anchorage to get this procedure done. We were ready to have the procedure done when a transthoracic surgeon came in who is a transplant himself from the East Coast to Anchorage. He only came in, he flew in, this is how we have to get our services, to back up the cardiologist. He came into the room to talk to my mom about this procedure, and he started to talk to her about the facts of life and that she should consider just allowing herself a natural death. And he talked to her about, then he turned to me when he saw that she has dementia, that he wasn't getting through, and he turned to me and said, does she understand? And I said, she has dementia, it's on her chart. He said, well, are you sure? Did you have her hearing checked? And then he turned to me and asked and said that maybe she needed full medical management or more medical management. And as a physician, I was able to say to her, she is maximally medicated. We don't need to do anything else, you just need to treat her. But he continued to try to encourage my mom to end her life. And my mom is, for anybody who doesn't know her, she loves life. She rolls down the halls of her nursing home on her wheelchair backwards in glee. That's how much she loves life, probably even more so now that she has dementia. My point being, not everybody gets a doctor for a kid who can advocate for you. We need more Native representation in the halls of medicine, not just as individual advocates, but also in the emergency departments where we can say, that's not fair what's happening right there. And advocate not just for Native patients, but for all patients who appear different and outside the majority. We need that education, it's critical. So the center is doing that, again, by educating not just Native physicians, but anybody who cares about patients in general. The other thing that we're doing is increasing, we don't just need Native physicians, we need Native dentists, nurses, pharmacists, public health specialists, we need them all. And the center is leading something called the Indigenous Health Professions Alliance. I believe you all have a one-pager and you'll see it on there. And that effort is to take our 50 years of experience in leading, in developing or growing Native physicians and now grow Native pharmacists, nurses, all of those health professions. So this is a program that we're hoping to grow, and the funding for this center will allow us to put that into that, put monies into that effort through a full-time staff member who's able to do that. Not only will we increase the numbers of those health professions, but it also will increase the number of interprofessional activities that are going on. One of those right now, we're working with the veterinarians who bring a SERV clinic, which is a veterinary clinic out to the tribal reservations. They've been doing it for 10 years. We are joining them now to provide health care through our medical students and our pharmacists and our nursing at those same spots. So a critical effort. The last thing I'll talk about is I'm the founder of something called iHeart, which is Indigenous Health Education and Resource Task Force. When I was the president of AAIP, the Association of American Indian Physicians, I started this group. And it recognizes that we have a problem, not just with growing Native physicians, but with growing Natives out of even high school and college. In this great state of ours, our Native students graduate around 50%. In Duluth, Minnesota, it's around 43% from high school. That's appalling. I'm not here to talk about that per se, but to say that we need more efforts to change those numbers. And iHeart, the Indigenous Health Education Resource Task Force, which we manage, is operating nationally now with some funding from the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. But we need to continue to grow that program and grow those efforts to increase these regional hubs of pathway programs for our students, not just into health professions, all health professions, but in general to help them get through all their educational levels. I hope you'll consider funding for the center. Our life expectancy, as noted, was actually lower. I think I might have written that, but it's actually lower. Our life expectancy is 65 years of age, the lowest of any group in this country, despite the fact that this is our land that we're all sitting on right now. It's appalling and it's getting worse. The federal efforts to now cut BIE funding and even to cut the Bemidji, there's online to be cut, is the Bemidji Office of Indian Health Service. Imagine, we have the worst health disparities in this entire country, and now we're going to get cut further. So that tells you where the federal funding is. The University of Minnesota is doing a great job funding our program. They have for years, but we need more, and I hope that you'll consider us today. As proof of the efficacy of our program, I've brought with me one of my stars. This is Tammy Livermont, who in a couple of months will be one of my colleagues, a new physician. Take it away, Tammy.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Ms. Livermont, please introduce yourself for the record and proceed.
Yeah. Petu Washte, Chair and Committee members, Tammy Livermont, Amachiapi, Ksto, Oglala Lakota, Himacha. Hello, relatives. I'm Tammy Livermont. I'm Oglala Lakota, originally from South Dakota, and a transplant here to the University of Minnesota Medical School for my training. It has been an honor and privilege to serve the state of Minnesota and your communities after being recruited by your medical school wholly because of the presence of the Center for American Indian and Minority Health. It is my philosophy that it's our responsibility to be good relatives and always reach back to continue to improve spaces and advocate for systems that supported me along my journey, which is why I'm honored to be here today to speak in support of funding for the center. I stand before you not just as a future medical professional, but as someone whose transformative experience in medical education was made possible through the support of the center. It's not just an institution, it's a lifeline for Native students pursuing a career in medicine, and its impact extends far beyond the walls of this university, as Dr. Owen described. The need for Native representation in medicine is dire. Native Americans make up only a fraction of the physician workforce, despite the significant health disparities that exist within our community. We make up 1/3 of 1% of all physicians in the United States. The lack of Native doctors exacerbates these disparities, as culturally competent care is essential in addressing the unique health challenges faced by our communities. The center is leading the nation in addressing this crisis and does it by providing a sense of culture and community in spaces where Native students often feel isolated. And I see the picture that Dr. Owen provided on the front page here, and I'll provide that example. When I started at the University of Minnesota my freshman year, being a Lakota person and being on Dakota land in Minneapolis, I thought, where are the star quilts? These are integral to who we are as Lakota and Dakota people, and we honor one another when we accomplish something significant in our life. I went to Dr. Owen and I said, where are the star quilts? I think everyone that graduates from this university should understand and be honored in a way that the First Nation or the first people of this land were. And so I went to the university and they provided us funding that now sustains providing star quilts to students. And honestly, hearing feedback from it, it's one of the more meaningful things that people talk about when they graduate is getting a quilt and how important that is and has been to their journey. The center also offers academic support tailored to the needs of Native and minority students. Some of us come from communities that are not well equipped when it comes to education. I came from one of the lowest performing high schools in the state of South Dakota and didn't do great in undergrad. And with the support of the center and coming to the University of Minnesota Medical School, I can say that support has gotten me through medical school and grown me into a person that is competent and does my best to take care of my patients and will continue to learn, but they have been integral in that. The center also connects students with tribal health systems and communities, ensuring that we don't only succeed academically, but we also stay connected to the people and places that bring us to medicine in the first place. I was able to go back to my own tribal community in South Dakota and serve for a couple of months, which is very meaningful to me. While increasing the number of Native physicians is critical, we must also ensure that all future physicians have the knowledge and cultural competency to provide effective care for Native patients. Understanding the historical and systemic factors that impact Native health outcomes is essential for every healthcare provider. I can tell you, not everyone comes into medicine with that knowledge, and it's important to provide that. The center plays a vital role in ensuring that the University of Minnesota Medical School produces graduates who are not only scientifically competent, but also prepared to meet the social and cultural needs of the communities that they serve. Without the center, we risk perpetuating cycles of misunderstanding and inadequate care that have persisted for far too long. The center is not only addressing disparities, it's redefining how we think about medical education and healthcare. By recruiting and supporting students who bring the culture, knowledge, and values of their communities into their practice, the center is fostering a new generation of physicians who are prepared to innovate and advocate for a better, more inclusive healthcare system. An example of that is in many of our cultural traditions, it's standard that we treat everyone around us like they're a relative. And so for me in healthcare and as a medical student and a future provider, I don't walk into a patient's room and see them as just a patient. I consider that they are one of my relatives in that room. And that truly transformed the type of care that they provide and the care that they feel. I've also heard from many of the providers and students that I work with that has inspired them to practice medicine in a very different way by exemplifying that. And that all comes from our cultural beliefs and backgrounds that we bring from our own tribal communities. We have the opportunity today to support a program that is actively shaping a healthcare system that serves all Minnesotans equitably. By funding the center, we invest in a future where Native and minority students are no longer on the margins of healthcare, but at the center of transformative change. I urge you to prioritize this funding and ensure that the Center for American Indian and Minority Health continues its crucial work. Thank you for your time and consideration, and I welcome any questions you have.
Thank you so much for sharing your story and your presentation. Are there any questions from members? Seeing none, any closing comments, Senator McEwen?
Yes, just briefly, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Thank you for hearing our request today for this funding, and thank you, members, for hearing our testimony and presentation today. We're so proud to have this center in Duluth, and it serves us regionally in not only, as we heard, not just northern Minnesota, northwest Wisconsin, but this is a center that is important to fostering Indigenous professionals from throughout the country and really keeping alive and fostering and nurturing professionals coming into the medical field. And so we're asking for your help today, especially in light of a lot of the cuts that we're seeing around the country and fully expect to see and are seeing affect our beloved community. And in as much as we can to just keep these really good pieces thriving and moving forward and strong. So we appreciate you hearing us out today and hope you will consider funding for the center. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator McEwen. And with no further questions, the bill will be laid over.
Thank you very much.
Next up, we have Senator Kupec. Senate File 1940. I believe you have two testifiers with you, Mr. Buck Alprin as well as Dylan Ferguson. They can both join you as well. Welcome. Please introduce yourself for the record and begin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If Senate File 1940, this is the paramedic scholarship continuation. So 2 years ago, in 2024, we established from the 2023 biennium, we established the paramedic scholarship. It provides up to 600 scholarships annually to students enrolled in a paramedic program at a Minnesota college. Scholarships are for $5,000, renewable one time. $3.2 million is being requested, which is the same as prior funding. Of that, $3 million goes towards those scholarships. The current program has been extremely successful, providing scholarships for nearly 300 students within its first year. And this is another one of those areas where we know that there is a workforce shortage. It is that critical workforce. Talk about, police, fire, emergency medical, teachers would also probably fall into that category there. And I think this is one of those areas where we've done some real good and we should continue to do that.
Thank you so much, Senator. With that, we'll pass it over to Mr. Buck Alprin. Welcome. Introduce yourself for the record.
Mr. Chair, members, Buck McEwen, it's Minnesota Ambulance Association, and thanks to Senator Kupec, who worked on the EMS Legislative Task Force for carrying this bill even the year before when we came here with issues around workforce retention and funding. The 30 years that I've been around here at the Ambulance Association, I would have to say this has been one of the most impactful pieces of legislation to impact our workforce, especially after we came out of COVID and many of our paramedics, some that were seasoned, just left the workforce, like we saw in all categories. And I'm glad Mr. Ferguson came today from our EMS office because I really want him to talk about some of the data about what we do. We all know there's the levels of basic emergency medical technicians that we have in our communities, and then there's paramedics, which is that higher level of training. The data is sound that a paramedic available really helps with patient outcomes, especially in rural Minnesota, where we're quite a ways away from tertiary care trauma centers. Our association asked the senator to carry this again. We listed this as one of our top priorities, even on a tight budget year, to extend this, because we find this to be a real impactful tool. And the one thing I also want to say, and Adam Johnson's back here from the Office of Higher Ed, worked with many state agencies over the years, and this program has only been this successful because of the work of the Office of Higher Ed. They have promoted this Facebook, social media, to our membership, and you would watch people share this link around the state and add it to their family members to become paramedics. And as you'll see in the report Mr. Johnson put together for the legislature, I was surprised to see that 108 of these applicants were 17 to 23. That's that new group of kids. And that 93 of them were 24 to 30. So it's not a bunch of those old gray hair paramedics that left their career. It's new life coming into the business. And that 39% of them were female and 56% male. So it's never been that high of a margin where we've seen females coming into the paramedic business across the state. And this grant has really helped. So it shows that 5,000, then they can apply again for a second 5,000, that scholarship has really helped them partner with an ambulance service, which is key. Bucks Ambulance takes you on as a student to go to the program. Mayo, whoever it is, and we get you through the program, we're going to also have gainful employment with you when you're done. And most of these folks are working for the ambulances now at the basic level. But with that, well, we'll stand for questions, and thanks for the support of this committee. But I think Mr. Ferguson has some pretty interesting data.
Welcome, Mr. Ferguson. Introduce yourself for the record and begin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm Dylan Ferguson. I'm the Director for the Minnesota Office of Emergency Medical Services. So Mr. McAlpin had kind of highlighted some of our different certification levels, EMT, AEMT, and paramedic. And paramedic, our highest available pre-hospital clinician, is what we're discussing today. These individuals go through anywhere from 2 to 4 college semesters of intense medical training, along with thousands of hours in clinical internship. And the reason why I make that distinction is, currently today, the state does offer some limited funding for emergency medical technician education. This is, simple reimbursement for, anywhere from an 80 to 180 hour course. This paramedic scholarship program that came through the last legislative session was really the state's first foray in trying to support those more advanced level providers. And there's a couple of points of the workforce that I just kind of wanted to call the committee's attention to. First off is paramedics that are certified here in Minnesota are twice as likely as our EMTs to be actively participating in clinical care working in an ambulance. Meaning they are out there, they are doing the work. We have a lot of individuals who get an EMT certification, they contribute to the system in other ways, but only 34% of them are actually riding on an ambulance. Paramedics make up approximately 13% of Minnesota's EMS workforce, with just shy of 4,100 available paramedics. But despite only making up 13% of the workforce, they were present on almost 85% of the ambulance responses in calendar year 2024. And then this isn't a phenomenon that's limited to the metro, as this is also consistent in outstate Minnesota as well. And the reason why I highlight that is while emergency medical technicians are the bedrock of not only our state's but our nation's EMS system, and likely always will be, our paramedics are our true workhorses that are doing a significant amount of that work. Also, paramedics are more likely than their other EMS counterparts to have a longer career, to be more engaged in the profession long-term because they have made more of an investment into their education, and they're more likely to be able to make a career and a living. In terms of looking at the current supply and demand for paramedics, up until about 2020, which is a year that should be very familiar to most, the state issued more paramedic certifications than individuals that we lost to expiration through attrition. In 2021, though, that trend reversed, where we lost 79 more paramedics than what we were able to issue new certifications for. And I'm sorry to report that for 2024, that gap grew to 113, meaning that we lost 113 more paramedics than what we were able to replace in the system. Now, this is independent of the 298 that are going through education right now as part of this scholarship program. One of the to close this out is the reason why this support is needed. So our emergency medical technicians, that's where our paramedics start. According to 2024 salary data from DEED, the median salary for an EMT in Minnesota is $22.65 an hour. This is 112% less than the median hourly rate for a registered nurse, 83% less than the median of a law enforcement officer, and 21% less than the median wage for a construction laborer. It's difficult to be able to expect a young emergency medical technician to be able to make the investment in their own education, totaling, anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 to advance within EMS, when there are so many other professions, both within healthcare and public safety, that maybe are more financially advantageous. We have seen a lot of early benefits from the early implementation of this program, and I'll echo Mr. McAlpin's remarks that the Office of Higher Education has been phenomenal to work with, Mr. Johnson specifically, and we are very much looking forward to adding these students upon their graduation to our system and putting them to work immediately. It's a solid program. The need is there. And it's a state program that is working well, and I think is certainly worthy of consideration for continuation, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Are there any questions from members? Senator Duckworth.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and it's okay if you don't know the answer to this question. I just thought you might, based on some of the things you shared earlier. Do you know what the net loss of paramedics has been in our state since COVID?
Mr. Ferguson.
Let me bring out a calculator, and I can get you the answer in terms of the net versus what's been added.
Mm-hmm. And while you do that, maybe somebody else can touch on this, if it's okay, Mr. Chair. If you can give us a sense of what the reduction in licensed paramedics or paramedics that have the appropriate credentials, the difference between what we experience in the metro versus greater Minnesota, if you have any insights into that, that would be helpful as well. Anybody?
Mr. Ferguson.
Mr. Chair and Senator, so in terms of just looking at the net of looking at those deficits since COVID, that number comes out to 291. Now, the other aspect is and there are some figures of this included within the Office of Higher Ed's report, is that that figure that I just gave you also looks at individuals that come to us from other states and gain certification here, whereas the Office of Higher Ed report primarily focused on individuals that were completing Minnesota programs. We also project the number of paramedic expirations to continue to rise over the course of the next several years, just based on the historical trends that we've seen. As it relates to your question of what is being seen outstate versus the metro, we do have a higher proportion of paramedics that are living and working within the major metropolitan area. However, when we take a look at the other EMS regions throughout the state, we find that maybe with the exception of the Southwest, anywhere from 60 to 70% of emergency responses have a paramedic on them, and paramedics make up an even smaller amount of the workforce in those areas, Senator.
If I may, Mr. Chair.
Senator Duckworth.
Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that information. I'm not quite sure that people grasp just how dire the situation is in terms of paramedics and the ability of an ambulance to be staffed and actually make it to a call right now. I'm a volunteer firefighter in Lakeville. We get medical calls all the time. It's primarily the kind of calls that we get. And there was a period of time where we did not know if an ambulance was going to show up. We've gotten better since then, thankfully. But if what the information that you're sharing with us gives us any idea about what we can expect in the future, if we're still at a net negative loss per people per year, and we project an increase in expirations for the foreseeable future, that definitely demonstrates the need for this bill, especially if we think this bill is making a dent. We might need to look at increasing how much we put toward this, because I'm here to tell you, and you gentlemen obviously know, the fact that we are hurting for paramedics right now in the state of Minnesota is an issue that is extremely significant and only going to get worse if some drastic changes don't happen soon. So, Senator Kupec, appreciate your bill and appreciate you gentlemen being here to testify on behalf of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Duckworth. Senator Clark.
Thank you, Chair. Testifiers, following up on Senator Duckworth's questions, do you have a sense of why they're departing? So I see 8% are 60 plus, so I would expect that they're going to be retiring soon. Is it wages? Is it better opportunities? Is it I'm burnt out? Do we have a sense of what's driving that number?
Mr. Ferguson.
Mr. Chair, Senator Clark. So previously, in my time as the former executive director for the EMS Regulatory Board, we undertook a study and an analysis asking individuals who left the field why they left. While this was not specific to paramedics, it also included EMTs. We found that the top drivers that influenced retention were wages and benefits, agency and employer culture, and then I believe the third highest marker related to mental health, burnout. So a lot of those items that you highlighted, Senator, and certainly I can put you in touch with the formal report that we did on that. That certainly has a lot more detailed breakdown.
Senator Clark. Thank you. Any other questions from members? Any closing comments, Senator Kupec?
No, I don't think so. This is a very, very good bill again and very impactful, so I'm very happy to be the one to carry it one more time. So thank you.
And thank you so much for your work on this. And with that, Senate File 1940 is laid over. Thank you. Thank you. Next up, we'll have a presentation from the University of Minnesota and Mayo Clinic about medical partnerships. Going over some of the appropriations they received in our base, and it's a continuation of the last conversation we had last committee hearing. Welcome, Dr. Crawford and Dr. Prakash. Welcome. Please introduce yourselves for the record and begin.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much for the opportunity to greet this committee today. My name is Peter Crawford. I serve as Vice Dean for Research at the University of Minnesota Medical School.
Mr. Chair, Senators, thank you for the invitation and the opportunity to speak. My name is Y.S. Prakash. I am the Vice Dean for Research for the Mayo Clinic in this role. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'm here today with the privilege of presenting the Minnesota Partnership for Biotechnology and Medical Genomics, which is a partnership between the University of Minnesota and the Mayo Clinic. As a provision of history and overview, the Minnesota Partnership for Biotechnology and Medical Genomics was formed in 2003. It's a unique collaborative venture among the Mayo Clinic, the University of Minnesota, and the state of Minnesota, with the goal of positioning Minnesota as a world leader in biotechnology and biomedical research that improves human health and saves lives while offering economic advantages to the state. The collaboration has become a globally recognized model of innovation in the biomedical field, fostering research that improves the economy of our state while targeting its most prevalent health conditions. Since the first allocation in 2004, the annual appropriated amount varied until 2015, and since 2015, $7.991 million has been allocated annually, so nearly $16 million per biennium, to the program per legislative fiscal year for the 7.991, of which $500,000 is allocated specifically to projects that focus on Alzheimer's disease and related dementias. The funding supports research in the following domains. First is discovery science research. This is the fundamental work that leads to the revelation of new disease targets that can later be pursued. Through the second domain, which is translational research, the ability to proceed those targets that are uncovered in the discovery research into the clinical domain. The third is large project and infrastructural work. These projects are well developed and are aimed at developing the infrastructure that enables large programs that can deliver programs of great impact. And the fourth is technology commercialization, which is revealed through a program that we call the Translational Product Development Fund, or TPDF. So as a snapshot overall, over the 20 years of the program, $167 million has been awarded competitively to 279 research and infrastructure projects. Of this total, nearly $21,876,487 has been allocated to Alzheimer's disease and related dementias research. Over the years, 22 innovations through University of Minnesota and Mayo Clinic startup companies have been spun out. So 22 innovations in those startup companies. 16 innovations have actually reached clinical trials. And partnership funding has led to 7 innovations reaching real-world use, and I'll describe examples of those. Some examples of the scientific, clinical, and economic impact of this program over the years include the following. First is a transcatheter aortic valve from engineered tissue. This was funded through the partnership in 2014, licensed to a Minnesota startup called Vascudyne in 2017. What this allows is the development of valvular tissue that saves lives, valvular aortic prosthetic tissue. But in this case, this was an innovation through a bioengineered tissue that has the opportunity to provide safer solutions for human use. A second example is next-generation standards for clinical microbiome analysis. It turns out that within all of us, we have an additional organ that we don't commonly consider, and that is our microbial communities. Our microbial communities form in the aggregate about a 3-pound organ living within us that actually have significant impact on our health and our response to medications, for example. It's of critical importance to develop the identifying technologies that reveal the microbial communities that are there and how they change with our health and disease. That's commonly done through genomic sequencing of those microbial communities. And this company, through a partnership funded in 2015 and ultimately licensed to a startup called Core Biome in 2017, developed some of those seminal technologies. A third example is an ultra-small wireless radiation sensor for use for in vivo dosimetry in cancer therapy. This is important for understanding and quantifying the amount of radiation that's delivered in an appropriate place to an appropriate extent. This was funded in 2015 and licensed to a University of Minnesota startup company called Voxy Health in 2022, and Voxy has other important activities that we're very excited about as well in diagnostics. A fourth technology is realized through the improved treatment of tension pneumothorax, and the ability to treat this in the field using a needle thoracostomy approach called colorimetric capnography. What this approach allows is, for example, if a patient needs to be treated in a very loud and active circumstance, for example, while being transported in a helicopter, this actually enables the care provider, which could be a paramedic or an emergency medical technician, the ability to determine whether or not the therapy has been delivered in the field, and very commonly in a life-saving circumstance, by the use of a visual signal rather than only an audible signal that may not be perceivable in a loud environment. So this obviously has significant impact. A fifth example is a form of therapy that's in development for Duchenne muscular dystrophy. This was funded through the partnership in 2021 and licensed to the University of Minnesota startup company called Myogenica in 2022. This involves the reprogramming of adult-derived induced pluripotent stem cells that allows them to achieve a fate of an organ of interest. And in the case of Duchenne muscular dystrophy, the replacement of skeletal muscle, as this is a fatal skeletal muscle disorder. In 2024, the FDA approved the first investigational new drug treatment in clinical trial for the company Myogenica that was originally funded through the partnership. You can see on the next slide some examples of the most recent awards. The first three reveal the importance of the immune system and various disease states. The first is within immune cells within the brain called microglia and the impact that they have on inflammation and neurodegeneration in aging, and the link to dietary patterns that has, and the ability of these immune cells within the brain to help sense and translate and potentially mitigate against the development of neurodegeneration. A second is another immune cell type called macrophages within the heart muscle and the blood vessels that have significant impact on the course of cardiovascular disease. A third involves the revelation of the role of T cells. So these are immune effectors that are key components of the immune system that are key drivers of helping us understand the responses to various forms of immune therapy for either cancer or infectious disease. And the fourth it involves the understanding of the cells that are the key components of blood vessels called endothelial cells that become abnormal in a very insidious and lethal disease called pulmonary hypertension. This is when blood pressure in the lungs develops to a point that causes pressure that the heart can't pump against. And a key component of that disease process involves the cells within the blood vessel becoming abnormally growing, and they multiply in a way in a process called endothelial to mesenchymal transition. And the key in understanding that has been revealed in a project that's been funded by the partnership. Our oversight, obviously, is first through this august body, through legislative approval. We report annually and together through the University of Minnesota and through Mayo through an annual report that's submitted each fiscal year to the committees and to the governor. Between the institutions, we have an executive oversight group, a partnership executive committee that's responsible for the performance of state-funded programs and provides guidance and direction to program leadership and administrative teams that you'll hear a little bit more from my colleague, Dr. Prakash, in a moment. The executive committee creates a framework for program funding allocation, reviews annual program plans, progress reports, and outcomes data for each of the funding programs, and coordinates as necessary with program leadership. Dr. Prakash. Chair.
Dr. Prakash.
Thank you, Chair, Senators. As Dr. Crawford mentioned, there is a joint program leadership, administrative, and financial management system that we have in place, and that's been very well tested. The program leadership is composed of scientific leaders from both University of Minnesota and Mayo Clinic. They set the scientific direction for the program and ensure that there's expert review of every project proposal that comes through. From an administrative and financial management perspective, the cross-institutional program management team, PMT, is responsible for the oversight, management and facilitation of all the program operations, and also the administrative responsibilities. They coordinate the requests and the scientific reviews of project funding applications, as well as implementing the projects and managing them as they proceed. The funded research project management involves research teams providing regular progress and financial updates. The research teams are required to provide final progress reports for the leadership team to review. The project budgets are reviewed quarterly between the management team and the program finance manager to make sure that there is stewardship of the finances that are being provided through the partnership. And the projects are tracked for 5 years following the closeout and completion of the projects to monitor for outcomes, such as the ones that my colleague Dr. Crawford mentioned, to know that the investment that we have made is meaningful to the program and to the state of Minnesota and to the health of its members of the state of Minnesota. We are very focused on ensuring that the projects are impactful, and we have well-qualified metrics to follow those outcomes. The outcome metrics are tracked for all funded research projects. Importantly, we look for scientific dissemination of the successes of those projects through peer-reviewed publications. We ensure that there's project sustainability through follow-on funding that goes beyond the investment that we have made through the partnership. We are committed to advancing those interventions for next stage for testing of a regulatory approval as appropriate. As Dr. Crawford nicely outlined, we look for licenses to existing companies, and then we ensure that the product on market or otherwise accessible outside of that research setting. And finally, as Dr. Crawford also mentioned, we look for formation of new companies that will show that our investments are leading to commercialization successes of our project. With that, we thank you again for the opportunity to present the Minnesota Partnership, and we welcome any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any questions from our members? Senator Clark.
Thank you, Chair Fate. Presenters, can you just remind me where else you get funding from?
Dr. Crawford?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair, Senator. Funding for this program is self-contained. So the projects, the funding, over 98% of the funding that's allocated for these programs goes to the actual work, to the research, and these projects are self-contained for those projects. The overall portfolio of our institutions, of course, includes heavy support from federal funding and other sponsors, of course. But these projects are specifically funded by this program. We're grateful to it, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Clark.
Thank you, Chair Fate. So these are self-contained, great. I imagine some of the indirect costs, do they support this at all with the other grants, or is it truly fully self-contained, or do you divide off parts of the buildings?
Dr. Crawford.
Mr. Chair, yes, indeed, for these programs, we do allocate facilities and administration costs linked to the awards, and those rates are in keeping with rates that are supported by the National Institutes of Health. But the awards, all components, direct and indirect, are devoted specifically to the activities of the project that are supported by the programs. Mr. Chair.
Senator Clark.
Thanks. Thank you, Chair Fate. Just back on, I think it's slide 4. I can't pronounce many of these words, but being in med device is my other job. I appreciate just the ongoing investment that we are doing as the state to, really create workforce development, and as well as, well, groundbreaking technology. So I'll say thank you for that, and keep pushing, folks, because we need this here, and we need to help keep us, Minnesota, as the center for all good things medical improvement. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Senator Clark. Any other any other questions? Thank you so much. We'll go into our next 2 testifiers. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
We have John Poe and Dave Dolan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Senators. We truly appreciate the opportunity to speak today and kind of share who we are, what we do, and frankly, how we use the state appropriations for our Minnesota Family Residency Program and our Minnesota medical school students. Dave, if you don't mind pulling up the slide deck, sharing your screen. Great. Next slide. We'd like to first start with who we are. In the essence of Mayo Clinic, we're known for the 3 shields. We're here today to speak to you about the Mayo Clinic College of Medicine and Science. We do have a college that is stood up with 5 schools, and listed on this slide, you'll get a sense of the scope and service. We start with far left, the graduate school. This is where we train our PhDs and our MD PhDs. We offer 8 different tracks, and we have approximately 350 students in that school. Continuing to the right is our School of Graduate Medical Education. These are our residency and fellowship programs. Mayo Clinic sponsors, as an institution, the largest number of offerings for resident and fellow training programs. We are about in the top 10% of the number of residents that we train. So we have 305 different programs for approximately 1,700 residents and fellows that we train. Following across, I'm going to jump down to the School of Health Science as the next school. So this is our allied health school. This is typically anywhere from phlebotomists to CRNAs or pharmacists to physical therapists. We offer 150 different programs for an equivalency of about 1,700 students in total. Next is our Alex School of Medicine. We have one medical school, and it's a national medical school with 3 different campuses. The original campus is here in Rochester, Minnesota, which offers a 4-year program. The Arizona campus is our next, and they too offer a 4-year program. And then most recently with our Florida campus, we offer what we call a 2+2 program. This is where our medical students spend the first 2 years on either Rochester or Arizona, and then take their last 2 years for their clinical experience on the Florida campus. The last of the 5 schools is our School of Continuous Professional Development. This is our global reach school. We reach over 535 different events, which actually span to about 140 different countries with well over 100,000 registrations. So we have an impact that we believe we reach that global presence. Above this, we're showing that basically we actually, as you think about nursing and nursing partnerships, we do not have a nursing school, but we have over 42 academic affiliations where we bring in over 4,000 nursing students and we help them through their academic career with clinical experiences. The reason we wanted to highlight this is that even with our 5 schools, we recognize our academic affiliations are important. We have over 2,000 academic affiliations with other institutions to ensure that we're reaching and providing the appropriate education for our clinical education and our grad post-grad. All of this makes up about 6,000 students that we train. Next slide. This slide is to give you a little bit of impression of kind of what we invest in. On the far left, historically what we try to say is the foundation investment for all of our education starts with our faculty and our faculty FTEs. We are a 3-shielded organization, so our faculty come from active practitioners, active scientists. That's critical. In relation to the resources that we commit to, we've put a major commitment towards our student wellness and our student services to ensure that our students and learners are successful in their investment for their education. Last, administratively, Dave's here today. He can speak to this. All 5 of our schools have full accreditation, and I can proudly state that I believe that we've achieved a reputation of all 5 schools being in the top tier for each of their offerings. On the far right-hand side, we're trying to illustrate some of our curriculum investment. We recognize that both clinical education and grad post-grad have been evolving. Today, we're building in AI in our curriculum. We're investing in platform, regenerative medicine, genomics, and most recently, our automation efforts. We've been investing in simulation centers for close to 20 plus years. You'll hear a little bit more in an additional slide that's following this, and the latest investments that we're taking there. Robotics. Digital health is becoming more and more as remote healthcare is reaching the maturity level here that we recognize that our education has to catch up with practice. Innovation and leadership. Next slide. This is our fancy slide to illustrate our immersive simulation. Most recently, we're investing in creating a studio where we can develop these learning experiences so we can accelerate learning opportunities. I try to give the example of traditional clinical education is really about an apprenticeship model. We are strained by the fact that we have a workforce need, both here in the state and across the nation, and frankly, global, that we've got to learn different ways to educate. I use the example, my physician partner, the executive dean for the College of Medicine and Science, is a neurosurgeon. Dr. Meyer can take 2 residents into his OR. He has to train these individuals over a period of time, roughly 8 years, and they have to incur 600 OR cases to be deemed competent. We hope to actually take this opportunity in an immersive simulation, build these learning experiences, provide them in a repeatable fashion, and frankly, offer them 24/7. Learners are telling us loud and clear. They're ready to learn 24/7. They need different devices. They're not in the mindset of the traditional didactic classroom at all times. So we're trying to build this capability. Next, I'd like to turn it over to Dave. He can go through and illustrate kind of how we're spending the appropriation. Dave, if you don't mind.
Mr. Chair, thank you, John. What I wanted to share today is how exactly Mayo Clinic and Mayo Clinic College of Medicine and Science are actually allocating those dollars that the state of Minnesota has so graciously appropriated through the higher education finance bill. So the slide that I'm showing now actually documents how we're actually using the dollars for the Mayo Clinic Alex School of Medicine. Per the statute and the higher education finance bill, we use those dollars specifically to assist Minnesota residents attending Mayo Clinic Alex School of Medicine. The numbers are small, we acknowledge that. We have 16 to 18 students per year receiving these dollars, but the return on these dollars is actually, personally, I would suggest that it's pretty robust. 67% of the students that graduated in 22, 23, and 24, again, only 12 of them, 67% went on to perform residency in primary care field. 4 of those were in Minnesota in programs like pediatrics and internal medicine, family medicine. 4 of those graduates also went on to do residency, primary care residency outside of Minnesota. Again, family medicine, pediatrics, internal medicine. And then 4 of those, the final 4, went into what we would call subspecialty programs, things like dermatology, surgery, plastic surgery. So again, the dollars are directly allocated to the Minnesota residents. The students who receive these dollars see them both in a financial aid notification letter, but then also on their actual tuition invoice. So we're recognizing those dollars and we're certainly appreciative of them. The other direct allocation is something for the family medicine residency program. For years, these dollars have been made available going all the way back to 1978. And over those years, we've had 321 graduates from the Rochester program. So the last biennium, we were fortunate to request and to receive an increase in funding because Mayo Clinic Graduate School of Medical Education took over as something called the sponsoring institution for the family medicine residency program at Mankato. That prior to that, the family medicine residency program was sponsored by the University of Minnesota. So you can see that it's approximately $1.134 million per year. So again, the biennium is $2.2 million or $2.268 million. And those dollars are used to assist with paying resident salaries and benefits. Again, so the difference between a medical student is they are actually a student, and so we're billing them and awarding those dollars directly to students. Once they graduate medical school and go into the residency program, they're employees. And so Mayo Clinic, just like every other residency program in the country, will provide salary, of course, but then benefits that go along with that salary. There are 27 residents in Rochester/Casson. So it's actually a rural clinic out just to the west of Rochester, where they spend most of their time. And then there are 15 slots in Mankato. Again, I mentioned that 321 graduates since 1978 have gone through the Rochester program. 44% of those are still practicing medicine in Minnesota. And the program is proud to have a 100% graduation rate or pass rate on the American Board of Family Medicine exam. And then the last thing that I'll just point out is, as we've worked with the Mankato program, pleased to report that 72% of those graduates again, from 22, 23, and 24 have been accepting positions as family physicians in Minnesota. 3 of those, pardon me, let me rephrase. 10 graduates are practicing in outstate Minnesota, so non-metro counties, places like Battle Lake, Minnesota, Waseca, and Fairmont. And then 3 are practicing in metro counties, and then 1 person who graduated left the state. So the return, if the goal is to produce family primary care physicians for the state of Minnesota, the program is actually very successful. That is the last slide that I have, and Mr. Poe and I would be very happy to entertain questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Are there any questions from members? Senator Clark.
Thank you, Chair Fate. Compliance Officer Dolan, and I say that as a fellow compliance officer. On slide 5, you mentioned the number of scholarships. Did you happen to mention why we went from 18 to 16 in 22-23 to 23-24?
Sure, thank you.
Mr. Dolan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The numbers fluctuates year to year, as you can see. The Mayo Clinic Alex School of Medicine, by the numbers, is the most difficult medical school to get into in the country. So if you look at purely the statistics, our average MCAT score is at the 98th percentile. Our undergraduate GPA is 3.95. That's the median undergraduate GPA of the class that's coming in. So we focus on Minnesota residents as far as part of the admissions process, but it's incredibly competitive to get in to Mayo, and the numbers will fluctuate from year to year.
Senator Clark. Thank you. Any other questions from members? Seeing none, thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. With no further business, we are adjourned.